Two sets of murdered sex workers, 5 years and 170 miles apart. In each case, 4 victims were strangled, then dumped, with their bodies arranged in a very particular position. On Long Island, the victims were carefully wrapped in burlap sacks and placed within 500 feet of one another along a beachfront highway. We've been talking about that case a lot for the last couple of weeks. In Atlantic City, New Jersey, the victims were dumped in a drainage ditch behind a row of seedy motels with their shoes missing and their heads all facing east, leading the media to dub the killer the eastbound strangler. So was there messaging in these positions? Did they do it on purpose? Let's bring in Katherine Ramsland. She knows serial killers really like no one else. She's a professor of forensic psychology and author of the book How to Catch a Killer. She joins me now. Dr. Ramsland, thank you for being with us again. We've been talking about these two cases for the past couple of nights. I'm so interested to know what you think. Do you think Rex Heuermann, the Long Island serial killer, could be responsible for these killings in Atlantic City?
Well, I think he has to be checked out thoroughly. It's certainly possible because we have sets of 4 laid out in marshy areas near these expressways or highways. He had some association with Atlantic City as well as Las Vegas, so you can't overlook some of those similarities. That being said, there are differences as well, and notably, the 4 in Atlantic City were found within 2 months. The women went missing in October and November of 2006. They were found fairly quickly. They were placed pretty close to the back of a hotel, the Golden Key Motel, where they could have been easily discovered. So that's different. They weren't wrapped in burlap. They had their shoes missing. They were clothed, but their shoes were missing. Their faces were down in water in a ditch. So there are some differences, but nevertheless, there are enough similarities that he needs to be checked.
What do you make of the position of the bodies in Atlantic City, the way that they were facing all in one direction, which led to the nickname? What does that mean?
Well, it kind of depends on exactly how they were placed, because if they were placed to put their faces into the water that was in the ditch, and one of the police officers suggested that was to wash away DNA. I'm not sure, nobody knows. It could be a ritual, might be a religious ritual, or it just could be that he dumped the first one that way, and he just kept doing the same thing with the others.
Do these sort of killers, if it's 2 separate killers, if it's the same person, do they normally go back to the scene where they've buried bodies or left bodies? Is that a common thing that you've seen, or do they normally do it and then never go back?
It really depends on what the body means to them. Someone like Ted Bundy saw his dumping areas as almost religious. They were sacred spaces to him. The bodies belonged to him. He would go back and visit. Some have gone back to actually have sexual contact with the corpses because they consider that they belong to them. But those who are really just killing them for practical reasons, that is to eliminate witnesses to how they were treated. For example, if they've been tortured, they might not go back at all. Depends on really what the bodies mean to them.
Interesting. The fact that it was sex workers in both Long Island and also Atlantic City, should we read into that, Dr. Ramsland? Is that common? Does that mean there could be a connection? Or does that happen quite a bit and it doesn't really, make you think much?
I think sex workers they are in a high-risk occupation. They will meet people in places that might be dangerous. They will get into cars. They will go to homes alone. So they're in a high-risk occupation. They already know that. The way these women were found, and apparently the way they met their killer, really isn't quite like what Heuermann was allegedly doing. He was making dates with escorts who were on Craigslist. We don't see that same connection with the Atlantic City women.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And also their ages were different.
Yeah, good point. And even though they were sex workers, you're right, it was different the way that he was looking for them online. Dr. Ramsland, thank you so much for coming on. It's going to be interesting to see if we know police are still investigating if they do end up making a connection. Thanks for coming on tonight.